Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Well, hey there, Littermates. Let's reset this for the umpteenth time. Hold on one second. Let's try that one more time. Of course, CK is going to cry at me. There we go. All fixed. Hey, Littermates. Welcome back to Boss Kitty Live. I am your host, Boss Kitty. It is Wednesday. In case you have been under a rock and don't know what day of the week it is. I didn't, honestly. For some strange reason, I thought it was Thursday for most of the day. Who knows? Hope everybody is having a great afternoon. Hello, hello. And with Wednesday, it's our Tour de Fleece day, which is really exciting because I got some stuff to show off. A lot of stuff to show off, though. But we will be spinning today, both on a drop spindle, God help me, and on Bumble, my electric spinning wheel. So have lots of fun. We're going to look at different types of spinning wheels, what a Saxony spinning wheel is versus a Castle as an example. So kind of give you guys an idea on what those different types are, things like that. Hello, everyone. Nick, Cat, Vicky, Miss Monster, Bubble Toes, Elizabeth, All Crafty, Samantha, JK. I'm just going down the list. Roxanne, Steffi, hello, hello. Megan Myers, Elizabeth, Moonbow. I think I got everybody. Good on me. I'm going to give myself some confetti right there. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's. Oh, and I think I already said hi to Bubbles, but I'm not sure. Was that Bubbles? I don't even know anymore. I promise I haven't had anything to drink, not even water. Kirk keeps bumping your phone. I hate when my cats do that. My cats have been pains lately. You thought it was Thursday too, Ryan? Oh my gosh. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's been a really weird week, and I don't know why. Yeah, but so you guys know that aside from all the fiber arts and stuff, since we've bought the house, that I've kind of gone a little all in with our backyard and with the garden and everything, and I have found my kitchen and garden witch, if you will, and it's been a lot of fun. I've done some pickles, a fair amount of pickles actually. I need to do another batch tonight or tomorrow, depending. I'm currently fermenting some jalapenos and some pepperoncinis, so kind of semi-normal stuff, and then I might have just jumped off a ledge yesterday. We have a ton of cat's eye in the backyard, which is a not version of dandelions. So dandelions have the thicker stems that are hollow, right? And the really big yellow flowers on them. And cat's eye has more of a viney stem on it and much smaller flowers. And the leaves on them are kind of furry. So I went through on my lunch and I uprooted a ton of cat's eye because we needed to get it out of the backyard anyway. And then I separated the leaves and the stems from the roots, cleaned the roots. I did attempt to cook and eat the stems like asparagus, and that was not for me. But I tried it, didn't I, TK? What's up? What? That's fucking insane. All in with a new thing. You never would have guessed. Excellent. I know, right? That's what I do with both feet. But so yeah, the stems not so much for me. The leaves not so much for me. You said cacti, and I thought that was an odd landscaping choice for Oregon. No, it's cat's eye, which I thought was fitting. And get a mic, TK. And yeah, it just I was kind of bummed. But the root, I took the root, I roasted the root, I ground the root up, and I made cat's eye coffee, you guys, and it was pretty freaking delicious. It's got no acid in it. It's caffeine free technically, but it tastes really yummy, kind of like a mocha coffee. I put a little cinnamon in there too. This is what it looks like. It's not quite as ground as I would like it, but it works really well in the French press. It smells really good. It does have a strange aftertaste, but not an unpleasant aftertaste. What it is that it tastes so much like a mocha-esque coffee, woody and chocolatey at the front end, that when you swallow it and you get that aftertaste that's not quite the same, it's a little off-putting at first. But after like 2 or 3 sips of it, I was totally fine with it. TK's on the fence. He's like, it tastes really good in the beginning, but I'm not. He had the same problem. He's like, I was expecting it to taste like coffee all the way through, and at the end it's got that weird different taste, but not bad. So my braces are doing great, Samantha. Hi JB, how are you? So yeah, it took a lot to make. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll probably get 2 pots out of what I made. This is the last of it, but I've got a ton of more cat's eye in the backyard. I need to get rid of them anyway, so I think I'm just gonna take all the roots and make some more because I really enjoyed it. And then next year, I might actually on purpose plant some dandelions, because you can do the same thing with dandelion root. In fact, that's what they usually recommend because the root is bigger. But for now, I got this. So yeah, very exciting. You can make tea out of it too, and you can make a chai out of it. So that was the first thing that was a little different than what you would normally get out of your garden. The second thing is that I am very impatient about my fig tree, as most of you are aware. We have a beautiful fig tree in the back. I'm not sure if the figs are going to turn out this year. We're real close to when some of the early ones should be ripening. And unfortunately, we are spinning tonight, Samantha. Unfortunately, I plucked one and it was a little dry on the inside. So my concern is that the tree didn't get enough water this year or nutrients, because I'm still learning and it's been pretty hot. But that's okay. If it did, it's not the end of the world. However, I did look up other things you can do with figs. And apparently you can use fig leaves to make things. You can make a fig leaf tea. You can make a fig leaf syrup. So on my lunch today, because that's what I do on my lunch apparently, I made a fig leaf syrup. And I'm going to tell you, I know it looks like pea in a jar. It's fucking delicious. It's so good. It has a sweet, really sweet flavor to it, but then it's kind of got this bright greenness to it. It doesn't taste like fig. It does not taste like grass or anything like that. I cannot explain what it tastes like. It just tastes like sweet, sweet, summery deliciousness. And it's good in seltzer water. I think it might be good in coffee. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good in my cat's eye coffee, right? So when I tell you that I'm finding my inner kitchen witch, I was not exaggerating. I've gone full in. So we'll see how it goes. Steffi, yeah, I found this out a little too late, I think. So I've been watering the hell out of it the past month and a half, I would say. But we've had some really hot weather in the Pacific Northwest the past few months. So the tree looks great. Everything's very vibrant on it. I've got a lot of figs on it. We didn't trim it properly this last year because I didn't know what I was doing. We bought the house in March. But I have no doubt that by next year, with it trimmed properly and knowing what exactly I need to give it, fertilizer and water and everything, that I will have some of the juiciest ass figs this world has ever known. 1 second, guys. Still have that frog in my throat. Okay, so now that I've got all that stuff out of the way, I do have one other thing to show off. So you guys have met, hung out with Elena Miranda. She's been in here a few times, a hippo monkey. So as a housewarming gift, because I have known her since I was in my teens. We've been friends a very long time. As a housewarming gift, she got me these really cool farming sleeves. They're for gardening. So they're gardening sleeves to, you know, keep me protected from the sun and keep me protected from bugs and thorny bushes like my roses. And I thought I would show these off because they're the neatest thing. I haven't worn them yet outside. They're made out of recycled plastic bottles, and she got me 3 pair. This one has birds and sunflowers on it and other types of foliage flowers. These have some lovely flowers and butterflies on them. Hi T, how are ya? And then these ones are my favorite. Yes, Shogun Tell is up. These have fungi on them, you guys. They're so cool. So I'm going to put one on so you guys can see what the heck they look like. They even have thumb holes. Cannot tell you how exciting that is. So let's go to our full host. Ta-da! So see, you just wear them like that out in your garden. Blah, 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 blah. And they're pretty sturdy. Like I said, I've had them for about a week now. I haven't really had a chance to wear them out there yet because I forget, quite frankly, and I need to. But they're very comfortable. They're very sturdy. I love them. Yeah, and this particular brand is called Farmer's Defense, in case anybody's wondering. So check them out because they're really cool. And Elena, if you're in here, once again, thank you so much. I love them. And they have an anti-slip grip on them. You know, like some of those, well, you ladies don't know what I'm talking about. Some of those strapless bras out there. So Samantha, they're for my arms. They're safeguards basically for my arms when I'm out in the garden. Okay, and as if that weren't enough to talk about, let's see, you guys have 5 minutes until our first round of Wheel Goodies and Goof 'em Ups. Somebody picked up the prototype for one of the drop spindles that we will have in our kits this winter. So we're going to be doing a collaboration with Twists and Turnings for fiber and drop spindles for beginner kits. There's going to be a few changes to it, but this is basically going to be what the drop spindle looks like. So it's very basic, but it's still really pretty. It's nice and light. If you check out this hook, this is what I was trying to tell you guys about the hook. The hooks on their drop spindles are really, really pointed up at the top, which means that the yarn stays on there really nicely. He's going to change the knot, I can't even think of the word now, the groove where the yarn goes, because I don't like this particular type of notch, so he's going to do a smaller notch for us. But the wood is really pretty, and then it'll be a little more finished on the shaft, I believe, and there'll be a little more detail on there. But I'm going to spin on this today so you guys can see me work with a drop spindle, because we've not done that before. We haven't done it in a very long time. And I am using this Cradle, and I have to tell you, I don't know where the label for this is. It is the worst damn fiber I've ever worked with. Gosh. If you dyed this, and I know you didn't because you guys are not none of you are the company that dyed this. They're out of business, actually. Seriously, it's so badly processed. It felts on itself. It's kind of miserable, but it's all I've got right now, aside from the leftover BFL green that I have that I'm going to be doing on Bumble later on. So this is what we're going to work with, and here's what I figure: if I can spin this with this drop spindle, then this drop spindle is pretty kick-ass. We're going to try to do this way. I think this is probably our best bet. So this is a top whirl. Remember we were talking about that, so you can see that the fiber, it goes down on the shaft below the whirl, so the whirl is on top, and there's a little notch right here, like so, that you put your fiber on to hold it, and then you put it underneath the hook, right? And then you just spin it, and oops, you hit it on your hand because you're in a very small area trying to do this, and you're crazy. But basically, you just draft like so, and it just naturally spins. And it does take a little more work than a spinning wheel does, in the sense that you have to stop and go a lot. And then you just wrap it on the bottom of the shaft, like that. And that's all you do. And I'm going to kind of turn this way and talk to you guys while I do this, but this will give me a little extra space, hopefully, to work with. What a bummer that it's being fussy. Yeah, Moonbow, I don't usually speak ill of product. Like, I try to find the good in it, and the color is lovely. And I suspect that So I think we got this for TK for fiber felting a very long time ago when he was doing needle felting. And I think for needle felting, it would probably be just fine. But for spinning, which is what it was intended for, it's not great. It is Cordell, and Cordell is a coarser fiber for sure. But even as a coarser fiber, I think it's just a little overprocessed. Hi, Jessica. How are you? You're working on your drop spindle tonight as well. Love it. Now you can see like I get nubbies in here, which is fine. You just got a spindle today. Wow, the timing, Rod, that's exciting. I would love to see a picture of it. Post it and show and tell. And if you're new to the show, welcome, welcome, my loves. It's so good to see all of you here.
Thank you for being a friend.
We do have a show and tell. So if you have something that you want to show off to us, head over to our Discord. And there's a section called Show and Tell, and you can post pictures of your works in progress, your finished objects, and it doesn't have to be fiber related. I'm really pushing for stuff that's spinning right now because of the Tour de Fleece, which is going on right now. But with that in mind, we love to see all of it. We get a lot of food that people put in there. I see lots of paintings that come through. People show me their kids because technically those are works in progress, right? Sometimes they're finished objects. Photography, anything. Like if you want to show me pictures of your tarot deck, that's great. I just want to see parts of your life that you're proud of and happy about, things that make you smile, because I guarantee you it's going to make the rest of the community smile as well. Oh, Steffi, that's exciting too. Definitely post it and show and tell. We want to see it. I have a blanket I'm working on. It's my scrappy blanket, and I think I'll be 80 by the time it's done. Oh, Jessica, yeah. Is it going well though? It is a very pretty color, all crafty. I will give it that. I'm doing pretty well. Samantha, how are you? You made 26 Battenberg squares at work today, Emily? Yes. They're addictive. I sat in front of a computer and I filled out, well, I registered a whole lot of businesses for my job. It was very tedious. But, you know, 9 to 5 is a 9 to 5. What are you going to do, right? And I like the people that I work with, even though it's remote. I guess I like me, is what I'm saying. Oh, congrats, Jessica. That's exciting. Oh, Steffi, that's awesome. So when I met TK, he's going to hate that I'm going to tell this story. When we first started dating and he found out that I knit, I did not crochet at the time. He asked me what it would take to get me to make him a scarf. He had never had a handmade scarf before. And I said, nothing, absolutely nothing. You're super attractive and adorable and charming. So I'm just going to make you one. I didn't say that, but still. So I made him this scarf and it was beautiful. I think he had it 6 months before he lost it. It's not his fault. I don't remember how it got lost, but I know he felt really bad about it. Look at that. That's all chunky. But I like to give him a hard time about it. Every time I make him something new, I'm like, this better not go the way of the scarf. Is it game time, Samantha? We'll get there in 1 second. I promise. I promise you we will not skip game. Okay. Let's do this then. This is right. It is Wheel of Goodies and Goof 'em Ups time. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to our full host screen. The Battenberg. Oh, that's fair. We talking about Battenberg lace. It's the Battenberg. No, it's a Battenberg blanket. It's a fingering weight scrap blanket, basically, out of tiny little granny squares. I don't think I have any of them here at the table with me because I was working on it last night out in the living room. I have 440 of them so far. Was it too loud? Did it scare you? I don't know. Who knows? You want me to hit it again? Okay, TK wants me to hit the button again. He said it was very loud, so hold on 1 second. Roxanne, congratulations. Up a little bit. There you go. Apparently TK jumped out of his skin. Yeah, I bet. Okay, so Roxanne, congratulations. You are our first contestant on the Wheel of Goodies and Goof 'em Ups. Let's get that wheel opened for you. There it is, our beautiful wheel. Ta-da! This wheel has a bunch of good and bad shit on it. Mostly good shit, though. We have Ravelry patterns for up to $5 or $10, depending on which one you hit. Blinky rolls, which you might potentially win some yarn. We got Game Over, which sucks, but that's okay. Merch codes, which are free button and sticker. free shipping, both domestic and international, Adject animal sounds, which is exactly what it sounds like. You wouldn't believe it. And dad jokes. Did I get everything? Did I? And we do have dad jokes, which is very, very exciting. Oh, and yarn tarot, of course. So, Roxanne, let's see what you get. So excited. Oh, no, Roxanne. What?
Game over.
Well, that sucks, donkey balls. Dude, Wheel, what's up? This happened on Monday, too. I'm not feeling it. Get out of here, Wheel.
Goodbye.
Roxanne, I'm so sorry, but plus side is means you're eligible to play again on Monday. And we really appreciate you being part of our family and a subscriber here on Boss Kitty Live. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to the drop spindle for a little bit. So I think we'll do the drop spindle for a little bit, and then we're going to push the second game out just a little bit. So instead of, once we hit 7:15, we're going to go over some different type of spinning wheels, I think, and then we'll play the game, and then we'll do our stretches, or maybe we'll do it the other way around. I'll let you know when we get there. I'm a chaos monkey. It is going to be empty. I don't know what's going on with the wheel lately. Oh, I enjoy playing with you. Good God, I'm more than 400 squares. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm almost halfway there. So I did have an idea, though. Hear me out about my Battenberg blanket. So you guys know how there are these tiny little squares, right? So I'm thinking about making... So half of them are supposed to be different colors, and the other half are all supposed to be the same color. And mine are going to be Packy Gray. And I was thinking to add a little diversity and change it up a little bit. The Packy Gray ones, I thought I would make 4 times the size. So 4 of the baby squares would make up one of the Packy squares, right? And that way, my main color ones are bigger squares, and then you have squares that are the same size made up of multicolored multicolors. What do you guys think? It would be fairly easy to do and to figure out. It means less squares, although they would be bigger. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I would have to stitch the other squares together first, because you're supposed to be able to stitch the squares together with the main colored squares while you're crocheting the main colored squares. So I would need to go through and hand stitch all of those multicolored ones into 4 square sets first, which I'm fine with, because that means I get to block them, and they're bugging me because I can't block them right now. I like it too. I thought it would be really different and neat and give it a different look, right? And you guys know I'm all for that. Like, I see a pattern and I'm like, ooh, this pattern's really pretty. Let's fuck with it. Like, I feel like that's my motto on life. This lifestyle's great. Let me see how I can make it upside down all around and not make any sense, but still work. So there you go. Oh, girl, you can say shit all you want. I drop F-bombs. You're fine. Bad rocket, no swear. There's a reason there's a TV MA up in the upper right-hand corner. Is it your guys' right hand? It's my right-hand side. Technically, it's my left-hand side, but when I'm looking at the camera, it's my right-hand side. So, if I was going to shadow cast this shit, then I guess it would be my left-hand side. The rule follower lives vicariously through you, through me. Well, I'm glad to be of any help that I can be in that case. Like I said, Chaos Monkey. Earthy Gal. See? Us Chaos Gals, we gotta stick together. Although, with people like Bubbles, because if we didn't, we would break the world, quite frankly. Got some really bad... Oh no, Marie, what's up? You were in the army? This is tame swearing. Exactly, Elizabeth. I used to get really bad, and then TK was like, you have to calm it down when we go over to YouTube because they will kick you off. I used to get real bad over on Twitch. There was a running gag for a while that if I said fuck more than 5 times on the show, TK was going to get a squirt gun. Exactly, Earthy Gal. It's not truly yours if you don't mess with it. Your idea sounds great, like a quilt. Yeah, exactly, Tina. That's kind of what I was going with. Okay, so you guys get the gist of this and how this works, right? And I feel like this is actually, I'm happy with this drop spindle. I really wanted to test it out with you guys, and I will continue to do so for a little bit at least. But it's a good weight, right? It's got a good weight to it. It spins consistently even with crappy fiber. So we are doing Tour de Fleece right now, which is really exciting. For those of you who don't know what that is, basically in the month of July with the Tour de France, fiber artists or spinners like to spin along, and they like to, you know, try to push themselves the way the cyclists do. So a lot of them will decide that they're going to spin every day for the month, or that they want to spin a certain amount of yards or meters of fiber, or ounces of fiber, grams of fiber, whatever it is. And maybe they want to try new fiber bases or try a different ply method, right? My only goal, I had 2 of them and I failed both of them, and that's okay. I'll tell you why. My 2 goals. 1, I only wanted to spin fiber that I dyed. Womp womp, that didn't happen. I did not have a chance yesterday to dye up some of the new fiber that I received. So unfortunately, for the sake of today, I'm spinning with this. Although the stuff that I'll be doing on Bumble is stuff that I dyed up. So that was number 1. That's okay though. Number 2 was I wanted to spin every day. That's not happened. I think I missed yesterday and the day before yesterday, and then I spun 2 days in a row, and then I missed today. There's a fair amount of days I've missed. There's a lot going on. We've been doing box sets and stuff. Also perfectly fine, because I've still spun much more than I have recently. And that's the whole point, is just to push yourself out there. I've certainly tried different ply techniques, which has been really fun and exciting, different types of fiber. But what I have realized is that my most important goal was one that I didn't even realize I had, and that was to get the community hyped up about spinning. And I feel like that's happened. Like, you guys have all salt and pepper, like you've just peppered the Tour de Fleece chat that we have in Discord with a ton of pictures and questions, and you guys are all really stoked about this, and that makes me so excited. I know some of you have bought drop spindles or brought your spinning wheels back out, and I think more than anything else, that makes me really, really happy. So I'll take it. Your husband squirt gunned you for swearing before? Oh, Marie, I'm sorry to hear that. She's in my thoughts. That's quite the life, though. You spent the first 18 years of your life growing up in the U.S. Army, and Elizabeth is right that swearing is tame. I'm so glad to hear that. You're the granddaughter of a ghostie. How did you come up with your channel name? So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, before TK and I were married, I was trying to come up with, I don't even remember what it was. We hadn't come up with a name for the business yet. I was looking at a meme. There's a meme of like CEO Cat or something like that. I can never remember what he's called. I think I can find him. Actually, let's go on a quick little, we're going to go on a quick little adventure here. You guys will know exactly who I'm talking about. There he is. Let me just get him up real quickly. Here's CEO Cat. Business Cat is what he's called. So he's a business cat. He's a cat, but he's in a business suit. He does business things, but he doesn't like a cat. So this says the new photocopiers arrived. And he says, excellent. And he throws them in the trash can and gets in the box like a cat would, right? Or this one right here, it says CEO. This is the one I sent to TK. I sent this to TK. I was this cat sitting at his CEO desk. He sees his coffee mug. He plays with his coffee mug. He pushes it off the desk and then sits there and stares and does a job well done type thing. So I send this to TK and I'm like, look at this. It's amazing. He's like, oh my God, that's so funny. That's something Con would do. And I was like, yeah, he's a boss kitty. And TK was like, that would be the perfect name for your business. I was like, oh my God, it's the perfect name for our business. So that's how Boss Kitty was created, was because of Business Cat. There you go. There's the story. Okay. Bye, Sierra. Have a great evening. Thanks, guys. I should have guessed it might be like Twitch. What's the Discord link? Yeah, it's just like Discord, or just like Twitch in that sense. Business Cat is amazing. How long have I been crocheting for? For about 3 years now, I would say. And as I've stated before, I learned to crochet here on the show. This is how bad this cordel is. Watch. Do you see this? Like, I have my hands so far apart right now. There's no way the staple in this is this long. It should come apart with no problem. If I were holding it here, I would understand this. But like, that should not be that hard. Sorry, I'm gripey about it. Thank you, Tina. I love that story too. And look at this. It's just... I'll stop complaining about it. I promise, guys. So when you're using a drop spindle, I tend to, more than I do with a normal spinning wheel, I tend to pre-draft just because it's in my hand and I don't want it to drop. Drop spindles really are not just for dropping. So pre-drafting is when you take your fiber in your hand and you just pull on it so that the fibers, they're still all going the same way, but they're drafted out. They're much more airy looking, right? Oops. I've got the fan going in here. It's probably a terrible idea. I should have TK come turn it off. Oh, I really should actually. So we're just going to sit here and draft this out a little bit, especially because it's so felted. Pull on it a little bit. There we go. Like that. So see, it's pre-drafted now. So then I can take it. And you'll notice I don't do that with a drop spindle or with a spinning wheel usually. But a drop spindle, trying to stop it or have it continue going while I'm trying to draft out, I'm going to end up dropping my drop spindle, and I don't want that to happen. Now, there are a few issues with this. It means I have to wrap it around my hand. You can actually get bracelets to do this with, by the way, wrapping it around your hand like this. I just don't use drop spindles enough to have one. There we go. And you still end up drafting. Whew, almost lost it there. Perfect. Thank you, Samantha. Good evening, Disappear. How are you? Did you ever try Malabrigo? No, but that can be bad too. Sandra, I did actually. It was the first thing that I spun up for the Tour de Fleece. Hold on, actually, I've got it right behind me. I'll show it off to you. And it should have been bad. When I first took it out, it was pretty felted. TK got me some for the holidays. And it's beautiful, but it was pretty felted at first. Not like this. But yeah, I had to process a little bit and draft it out a little bit, and it turned out really nice. So I'll open it up. So I ended up doing a 3-chain ply or a chain ply on it. But it spun up nicely. I need to wash it. I haven't washed it to set it yet, but you can see here, like, it ended up pretty even. I really love the color. And this was done on my electric spinner. Yes, you can get a distaff or make a wrist distaff to hold it, which is what a lot of people do. And it's probably something I would do if I spun on drop spindles on a regular basis. I split my braids into 4 lengths because I struggle with the entire thing. Bubbles, a lot of people will do that too. Even if they don't struggle, they do that a lot of the time because they want the colors to mash up, right? So if I wanted to spin this on whatever type of bobbin and I wanted the colors to match up and I was going to do a 2-ply, I would split it down the middle as closely as I possibly could, like so. So I could spin this up and then spin this up and then ply these together. And ideally, the idea would be that that's what it would look like. I mean, it's not going to look like that. It's going to look more like this. Check this out. So we'll draft this out a little bit. It would look more like this, where you get kind of some of the blue into the orange and some of the orange into the pink, but it would be pretty close. No, fractal spinning, I believe, and I'd have, you know what, let's just look at fractal spinning, but I believe that fractal spinning is when you take each color apart so that you have it together. We did that with the other yarn I dyed, and I'm not within arm's reach of it right now. One sec though. Let's double check that. Fractal spinning. I just want to make sure I'm not talking out my ass because I do that a lot. Fractal spinning takes the idea of repeating patterns at different scales and applies it to yarn. You know what? Let's go back. The basic premise of fractal spinning is to choose a braid of fiber that has very distinct color changes throughout and then split the braid into 2 even... Oh, no, it is. You're right. Into 2 even sections and split one of the sections further into sections. What? Section 1 spun from one end to the other. Section 2 splits into fourths, spun end to end. Oh, my brain hurts now. What the hell? Oh, look, there's pictures. Here, let's look. So, they're saying that basically you choose a braid of fiber that has very distinct color changes throughout, and then split the braid into 2 even sections, then split one of the sections into 4 sections, into further sections. So section 1 is spun from one end to the other. That's this section right here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Section 2 is split into fourths, spun end to end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so then they braided it, and they're just going to spin it end to end. So they took basically the length of this, and you can kind of see that same thing, and split it into 4 more. That is very confusing. This creates 2 singles that have the same color repeat order, but one single has 1 long repeat, where the other single has 4 shorter color repeats because you've split it up into 4 pieces. And this is what it ends up looking like. That's kind of cool, actually. My brain hurts thinking about it, but it is cool. Half a braid spinning as the other half. There you go, Sandra. Thank you. Have some confetti, girl. Malcolm was a fiber artist. So, have you guys seen those patterns, those knitting patterns? I think it's mainly knitting patterns, and I don't remember who the artist is. But basically, there's there's yarn that goes with it, and it's yarn that's like multicolored. So, like one of our multicolors, right? If you took one of them, and maybe it was Doctor Who number 10, right? So where the blue pops in, you know, it's that brown and that blue color. You would knit in the pattern for like a triangle shawl. Let's say it's pretty basic. Let's say it's just a stockinette shawl. But once you hit the blue in all of that brown, then you make a bauble. And you make another bauble. You should have enough blue to make a bauble or 2, basically. Every time you hit blue, you make a bauble. And so you end up, it looks like, depending on what colors you go with, it's really cool. It looks like some type of sci-fi germ weird creation thing. It's so neat looking, and I want to make yarn for it and test it and try it because I'm obsessed with it. Sorry, I'm all over the place apparently tonight. And I'm also dying. Not really. Planned pooling, exactly. Selective stitches. You have a couple of skeins of yarn meant for assigned pooling that I need to find patterns for. Exactly. Yeah. Did all the Doctor Who sell out? Jessica, so we did pre-orders basically through the month of June, and they did not quite sell out. We had 50 of each. We came damn close though. I'm waiting for the yarn for the final amount, and then we will go ahead and get that final round out. I've got 10 more orders to go out right now. You guys outdid yourselves. Seriously. I'm one happy duck. I'm so happy that they were such a success and that everybody liked them. And there's a lot of colors in there that I honestly think we might bring back just because they are so pretty. Ah, see what happens? This ends up in here. This is why I'm not good with drop spindles. Just put that off to the side. There we go. Speaking of releases, so we talked a little bit about this on Monday. So we will be releasing for our patrons over at patreon.com/bosskitty. We're going to be releasing a product for you guys. And I said a month in advance. It's not going to be a month in advance. I lied. It's a secret. We'll tell you the day before it releases. It's going to release on the 1st. Did I do it on the 1st or the 31st? The 31st is... You know what? The 31st is a Monday, and so we will release it on July 31st. On the 30th, we will announce to our patrons what it is we're releasing. We'll do that on patreon.com. You guys will have access to it on the 31st through the 1st at 10% off. The patrons will. And then our patrons will have access, exclusive access at the whole price to the product for the next 3 weeks almost. Because on the 18th, I think, which is TK's birthday, I believe we'll release it to the public. I think he's gonna release it to the public at that point. This is his birthday gift to all of you guys. I might have those dates wrong. He'll let me know for sure. But I know we talked about doing it for the whole month of August. We're going to go ahead and make it exclusive to our patrons for 2 or 3 weeks is all, instead of a full 4.5 weeks. Just so you guys are aware. But I'm really excited about it. I think you guys are going to be really excited about it too. Sorry, I had to look at a calendar to make sure I wasn't going nuts. Do I still have a head cold? Yes, I am still fighting the ends of a head cold. So I don't really have the cold anymore. Just a little bit of a froggy throat that I have to clear from time to time. But I don't have the congestion anymore. I don't have the headache. I thought TK was getting it the other day, but he wasn't. He was just super dehydrated. He said he has to bed. Roxanne, that's too cute. I love it. I liked he has to bed, but has to go to bed is even better. Well, Roxanne's son, good night, and thank you for hanging out with us. I hope the bad words weren't too much. Have a good night, kiddo. Should you get it? Samantha, I mean, I'm not going to say you should or shouldn't. I think you guys will really love it. If you want to guarantee getting it, you will need to be a patron, because there's a good chance we'll sell out. That's always an option. And this is not necessarily a pre-order in this case, although I suppose we could pre-order them. I don't know. I have to talk to TK about that. We don't generally pre-order our normal yarns and stuff, because that can get a little tricky after a while. Box sets are easier for us to pre-order because you're pre-ordering 5 skeins of yarn at the very least. Doing pre-orders for 1 or 2 skeins of yarn becomes difficult because if I don't have the yarn on hand, I have to find a way to go purchase it. So that becomes a problem. Okay, we're going to move on to the different types of spinning wheels. Let's take a look at these. So, got the joy of hand spinning up for you kiddos. Hi, Handmaid. How are you? Woo, Hobbit birthday. Miss Elena, we showed off your hand, blah, 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 your arm defenders, the Farmer Defense arm guards that you got me. Everybody loves them. They're really pretty. Okay, so there are different types of wheels. Great wheels are the really, really, really big wheels. And there are a lot of your really old wheels. You don't get a lot of those anymore. And they're usually spun by hand, I believe. To rotate the spindle, which has been previously done by hand. Yeah. So they were used for like cotton and silk, and you'd make it into a really fine, thin thread. Saxony wheels is what a lot of people have. They have the Ashford traditional. It's a really tiny picture, sorry. And that's what a Saxony wheel is. It's also known as a Cinderella wheel. It's a horizontal wheel, and your wheel is at one end and the flyer is at the other end, is the way that works. And it kind of sits, when they say it's horizontal, it means that in front of you, you've got your wheel here and you've got your flyer here, and you're spinning off it this way instead of having everything vertical like this. The castle wheel is an upright wheel, so everything kind of stacks on top of it. Oh, that's what it says too. Stacked vertically with the flyer being positioned above the wheel. So your flyer's up here this time instead. Treadle's down here. The Traveler is a great version of this. The Magicraft is a great version of this. The other neat thing about this is that you can, as you can see with their Traveler right here, you can sit your bobbins on like a knitting knotty on there. Or a Lazy Susan, Lazy Kate. I don't ever remember which one's which. But you can sit it up here to ply from, which is helpful. Where did you get your spinning wheels at? It depends on the spinning wheel. You can get them in lots of different places. A Norwegian wheel looks similar to one of the Saxonies because it's horizontal, or it sits horizontally. But it has a really large wheel that kind of sits inside of a table-like structure. It's surrounded, almost like a bench. And has 4 legs instead of the 3 posts. This is an antique one, but Kromsky makes a really great one as well. And then they talk about modern wheels, which can be all sorts of things. So let's see if we've got more information over here. So this is a bigger picture of a great wheel, but this great wheel is also a version of a Saxony wheel because it's sitting horizontally. You can just see it does not have a treadle down here because it's done by hand. So you sit like this, right? Get my hand in here, and you're doing your thing, and then you watch like old medieval movies. This is the type of wheel they use a lot of the time. Here's a picture of a Saxony wheel. So there it is with its treadle down here. And this is a really old-fashioned treadle down here. But you can see that it's sitting horizontally where your wheel's on one side and your flyer's on the other side, right across from it, basically. Your castle wheel, which we talked about, still a tiny picture, man. But these are much more compact wheels. They take up less space on the floor. I have multiple wheels, Samantha, is what I was trying to get across. Norwegian wheel looks similar to the Saxony wheel like we talked about. That's a tiny picture too. It's not really going to work for us. Oh, they've got a chakra wheel on here too, which is popular in India. It's used for spinning cotton, and it's a very compact wheel. It's kind of a box style. A lot of them can fold into themselves. Folds up into a box that can be transported. The method used for spinning on a chakra wheel is similar to spinning on the great wheel because you do it by hand. The spinner rotates the wheel with one hand while drafting the fiber with the other hand. The chakra wheel is ideal for spinning very fine fibers like cotton, silk, angora, and cashmere. I wish this was a bigger picture, but the whole thing folds in. It's really neat. Some of them are really beautiful. So yeah, those are your main different types of wheels. And then of course you've got electric wheels as well, which is what Bumble is as an example. Do they have a walking wheel? They don't on this page, but I can find one. I also didn't see a conversation wheel either. Is a conversation wheel, is that what they're called? I think a walking wheel would technically be considered a great wheel, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think a great wheel and a walking wheel are the same thing. They're huge. Here's a picture so you can see it in comparison to a person. Oh, no, that's not a picture. That's actually a legit video. I don't want video. I just want to see a picture. Ooh, so big. Let's see if this works for us. Can you guys see that right there? That wheel right there kind of gives you an idea. So this is about 5 feet in height. The large drive wheel turns the much smaller spindle over here. The yarn is spun at an angle off the tip of the spindle and is then stored on the spindle. To begin spinning on a great wheel, or walking wheel, first a leader is tied onto the base of the spindle and spiraled to the tip. Then the spinner overlaps a handful of fiber with the leader, holding both gently together with left hand. Here is a walking wheel or great wheel next to a woman so you can just see how big they are. So that's what that looks like. Lundrum types. So Lundrum has a ton of different types of wheels. So things like Lundrum and Kromskys and Ashfords, all that, those aren't types of wheels as much as they are brands of wheels, right? It's kind of like Nike might have running shoes and tennis shoes. They have different types of wheels, but shoes, but Nike itself is a brand. So let's see, Lundrum wheels. I have a Lundrum wheel actually. Not Bumble. My normal wheel is a Lundrum, and it is a single treadle Lundrum. So here's a Lundrum wheel right here. This is the one I have. Just 1 second. Maybe if it'll pop up. I just want pictures, you guys. Why you gotta be so difficult? Just show me pictures. This is a double treadle, which is fine. We can show off that one. OMG, you're still gonna be a small picture. You jerk. Whatever. So there you go. That's a Lundrum double treadle spinning wheel right there. So in this case, this would be considered a castle style wheel, right? Because your spindle your fiber sits up on top. And I know it's game time for sure. We'll get there in a second. There are so many types of wheels out there. So you see how they have 2 treadles down here? Some of them have 1 treadle, some have 2. There's pros and cons to both. You have a little more, I think you have a little more control with 1 treadle because you can make it go a little slower. I prefer 2 treadles though because I'm a very impatient person. So this is very similar to the wheel I have, except for mine is a single treadle. But what's really cool about the Lundrum wheels, other than their simplicity, is that it can be altered. I can actually get a piece that changes my wheel to a double treadle wheel. It's a little spendy, but I can do it if I want to. I can also get a jumbo flyer for it, which means that I can do art yarn or do plying on it, which is really helpful. And my lindrum is from like the 70s or 80s, which is really funny because I had to get a new flyer for it. So the flyer is a bright, beautiful pine color while the rest of it's very aged. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the wheel real quickly, you guys. Our wheel. It's time for the wheel goodies and goof 'em ups, kids. We're like shoemakers before Industrial Revolution. Everywhere had a person that made exactly. So my mom, some of her wheels are over 100 years old, and the only way you know what type of wheel it is she has to find a maker's mark on it. It's like old glassware or furniture, like any furniture you might get, there's a maker's mark on it, right? And some of those makers are still around today, the companies, because they're family businesses that go down through generations, and some of them aren't, and some of them are wheels made by somebody for a loved one. You know, it's really neat, some of the stuff that you can find that way. Okay, so let's get the legal stuff out of the way. And a weaving loom. I need a larger home. Crochet, I guarantee you a larger home won't help. Speaking from personal experience. Don't just fill it. Just enjoy yourself, right? Just do it. Handmade Designs, congratulations. You are our second contestant on the Wheel of Goodies and Goof 'em Ups tonight. Let's get that wheel up for you. Oh no, come on, wheel. There it is. Okay, here's our beautiful wheel. It does not spin yarn, but it gives out yarn sometimes. Handmade, I'm going to go ahead and spin this for you because everybody knows what's on it at this point. That's an adjunct animal sound. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
You are a winner. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so wheel, we'll see you in a little bit.
Good night and goodbye.
And then let's go ahead and go over to the adjunct animals and see what we got. We have Compassionate Cat. I'll pick 2 more, and then from those 3, I'll pick 1. I like Compassionate Cat, though. Compassionate Cat might legit happen. Low Macaw? No. Stark Caribou. Stark Caribou. We're going to go with Compassionate Cat. And before I start this, I'm going to say, my heart of hearts, no cat is truly compassionate. Just keep that in mind. Meow, 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 meow. There you go. There's my compassionate cat. It's a little snarky, a little condescending, but there was true compassion in that cat. I promise. It's the most compassion you're ever going to get from a cat. But you got a little too weepy there towards the end, so she had to hiss at you to get you back on track, make you see things the way they need to be seen. There you go. There's my compassionate cat. Someone should design a stationary bike spinning wheel crochet. Oh my gosh, get on it. Oh no, Bubbles, I'm sorry. Now I talk to my cats all the time. Poor TK. Oh, it's too good. Too good. Okay, you guys, let's get Bumble out. I am a bad kid. I cannot tell you how many yards I am up to this week for spinning. I don't remember, and I don't have the yarn on me with all the numbers. I know I spun up some of this, and it looks really pretty. I spun it up with one of the tubs of Joy that I had. I did a 3-ply, but not a chain 3-ply. I spun this up on 3 different bobbins. So this was on 2 bobbins, and then I had a tub of Joy that was a similar color that I did on a 3rd bobbin, and then I put them all together. And I have extra. Where did it go? It wasn't just that. This is one of them, though. I have extra on 2 of the bobbins, so we're going to go ahead and put the rest of this on this bobbin and fill them up, and then just have some extra plied the way it is. He's passed out again. Oh my gosh. I hope you all enjoyed that. Listen, cats are bitchy. I'm not gonna lie. They can be lovey as all get out, but know that the other paw will drop at some point in time. Okay, so we need to get everything hooked up here. I'm missing a piece. There it is. I'm like, wait, where's the other part of my charger? You guys never get to see this part. This is always behind the scenes. I've always already got this set up for you. There we go. That out of the way. If you haven't met her yet, this is Bumble, my electric spinner. She's one of, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. She's one of my best friends these days. Pop that right in there. There we go. I am so sorry for all the coughing, you guys. Welcome back, Emily. Okay, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. Knock it off. Just stop this, BK. Oh, there we go. So we're actually gonna have to come in here first because I wasn't paying attention. Bloop. And then we'll bring it, actually what we'll do is that we'll bring it through here. Maybe. Now here's the thing, is that I have plied on this wheel since I spun this, which means the tension's going to be a little wonky and different. Shit. Hold on one second, kids. Sorry about that. I don't generally get out of my seat like that, but I forgot my my little tension ring, so it's kind of important for spinning. Really can't do jack without it. I had everything else I needed. Okay, so my tension is going to be a little different than it was when I first spun this yarn up, which means it's going to be a little wonky and funky, at least in the beginning. That's okay. I'm really not that worried about this. This is more of a exercise for me than it is anything else. And this is the part of this fiber that got a little over processed. Remember we were talking about that? So there we go. Excellent. Pull this back a little bit. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Okay. So we're gonna go forward just like that. And we've got no tension right now. That's okay. Just pull on this a little bit. There we go. That's better. And then look at that. We just start. Things just start going. Oh no, handmade. Well, I hope it came back. So Samantha, you asked me where I got my wheel. I know we've posted this one a few times, the dataless, and that they have a lot of different wheels. I'd like to get a magpie someday because I really want to do art yarn. I love it so much. And then I have my Lundrum. I used to have a Kromsky, the travel wheel. Is it a Sonata? I think it was a Sonata. I could be wrong about that. Kromsky, all of their wheels are musically inspired. So all the names of them are musical terms, which is neat. Of course you should try spinning. It's very important for this wheel, right? And different wheels have different types of tension, you guys. You have Scotch tension, you have Irish tension. Don't ask me which one's which because I never remember. One is what I'm using right now. Another one is, what's a little different? You have a little, I can't think of words now. Ring that you use instead, where you change the ring size, basically. Your bobbins have little knobs on them that get bigger and smaller. Some of them have both, which most of my wheels up until now have always had. I think what I'm using right now is considered Scotch tension. There's a 50% chance that I'm wrong though. How many patrons are I at now? How many patrons do we have currently? That is a great question. Let's find out. If I head over to patreon.com, it says that we are at 61 patrons currently. So when we hit 75 patrons, we will release a series of haikus by TK in his sweet, beautiful, salty old radio voice. They're delightful. We used to do haikus on Twitch all the time. People loved them. And then when we hit 100, we will do a whole entire event where our patrons will get to vote on a colorway. They get to create their own colorway. You guys get to tell me what colors you want in it, if you want it to be speckled or multicolored or solid or some type of undertone. And then you guys get to name it, and then that colorway will be available on all of our bases all the time, exclusively to our patrons. I mean, that Mrs. Doubtfire and A League of Their Own is all I can name. Handmade, it's a very cathartic form of craft. Like, you can kind of get mindless about it, and it's still beautiful, and it's still usable. You're still creating something. It's not really stressful. It can be stressful sometimes, I suppose. And wheels, even silent wheels like Bumble here, they have a little bit of a noise to them, so it's almost like a white noise or a brown noise. Flip it and it's Irish. There you go. I thought I wanted a Sonata, and after I tried it and then tried the Matchless, and it was hands down, 100%, 100%. For a while there, my dream wheel was a Ladybug, honestly. And then I got this adorable little thing, and I no longer have any desire for a manual wheel. I like manual wheels, and I will use my Lundrum, and when my mom decides to get rid of some of her wheels, I'll certainly take some of them and use those as well, lovingly. But man, there's something about this wheel. It's just so quiet and so smooth and so enjoyable. The haikus are epic. I've been spinning almost as long as I've been knitting, which is a surprise because you guys never see me spin, right? I'm much better at knitting. So I first started spinning when I was in college. My mom taught me. So let me think for a second. 2007, I think? Ish? No. No. Let me think for a moment. 2007-ish. So it was during college, I should say. And I had already known how to knit for a while. But 2007-ish is around the time I started knitting or spinning. And I bought my Kromsky. I had to sell it though because I needed to pay rent because broke college student, that's what happens. But I would frequently borrow one of my mom's wheels. I was gifted a few drop spindles though. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of drop spindles for me personally. It's just not my thing. But they work really well. They're enjoyable. So it's not something I've done diligently until just recently, once I finally had a wheel again. And I had my mom's Minstrel for a while as well, her Kromsky Minstrel. The Sonata was nice because it was a travel wheel, and it is nice. It does kind of walk a little bit when you're using it, but you can get a little backpack to go with it. JK is a champ. JK was actually one of the first people to order one of the box sets, but because she also won the giveaway, and they're in a first come first serve setup, she has agreed to wait towards the end so that both of her sets, all four of her sets, are the same die lot. I didn't want them mixed and matched where she got the one she ordered early and then got the other one and have it not match the die lot. So she's being awesome about it, and I appreciate it. Turkish spindles are pretty great, and they're just beautiful to look at, quite frankly. So, by the way, if you guys are patrons, speaking of this, we were talking about it earlier, we do have a Fleece to Finish project this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Boss Kitty Live. It's my next show. And I'm really excited. We're going to start weaving, or at least we're going to warp our weaving board. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to watch some tutorials. I'm terrified and freaking out a little bit about it. I did order some cotton warping yarn, basically, both in white and black. The white showed up today. The black should be here tomorrow. I think I'm going to do the black because we're doing that kind of muted neon color. I think it'll be really pretty. The white will be pretty too, but it'll be a little more washed out, I think. And we're just going to make something real simple, like some type of little tapestry or something for our wall, or maybe a little runner. I don't have a lot of the Shetlands to do anything with. We've only got that one bobbin's worth. We can add other stuff to it if we want to. So we'll figure it out for sure. But you guys, our patrons will be the first people to get to see me weave. So if you want to be a part of that, head over to patreon.com/BossKitty, sign up today, any of the levels, and you will receive the notification when we go live. You'll get the private super secret link. And if you want to catch up on our Fleece to Finish project, you can do that because all the VODs are available to you. Good night, Samantha. Have a great evening. Between tours. I've been epically spoiled because BK is awesome. Aww. I can't wait to see what you do with it. You know, that happened to Wisdom Queen too. She purchased a Storytime box set. She won the subscriber giveaway that month and got the Storytime box set. And then she also won, I don't remember what it was, but we had rando yarn she won. And a bunch of that was extra Storytime box set yarn. So she had like 3 box sets worth somehow or another. And to this day, she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it. I think she might make a quilt like Lady Bella did. Warping isn't as hard as it seems. Okay, so here's my question then. For you patrons out there, should I attempt to warp my board, my loom, before the show, or should I attempt to do it during the show? You guys want to get right into the weaving and have the board already warped? I keep calling it a board, and I don't think it's actually a board. Or do you want to watch me go through that tedious process? Remember, the show is generally only about an hour to 2 hours long. This is much fatter than the other stuff was, and that's fine. I'm not really worried about it, honestly. Hey, Michi, how are you? I too am a new weaver. It sounds so fancy when you say it that way. There's a lot of box sets. Okay. You guys, guess what we forgot to do? I got caught up in everything else.
It's time to stretch.
I'm the worst. Stretching is so important, and I completely forgot because we were looking at different types of spinning wheels, and especially stretching is important when you're doing the drop spindles because your hand is constantly going like this. That's going to affect your shoulder. It's going to affect your upper bicep area. It's going to affect your wrist, all of it. So I can tell you from personal experience that constant drop spindling, especially with a top whirl spindle, is going to cause some severe neck pain in your shoulder and neck area if you don't stretch and take breaks. So please keep that in mind. So with that said, let's go ahead and stretch our neck out a little bit. Just breathe through it. Think of something chill and awesome that happened today for you. Or maybe it happened yesterday. Think about how you're going to share the show with other people. Maybe you'll post about it. Maybe you'll talk about it on your show. Maybe you'll write a haiku about it. Who the fuck knows? And then let's just rotate and get some of those snap crackle pops out. It feels so good. And then you can think about my fancy coffee that I made. Oh, that one hurt. Woo. Oh, yeah. Warping takes a long time. I advise doing it ahead of time. Okay, then that is what I will do. Yeah. Then I will warp it. Yeah, I'll warp it beforehand then. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring one hand across and over. While you do each step and share those at the beginning, and then we can spread the warp and start weaving on this show. I love it. Part of it short, that's not a bad idea either. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Even if I just do the warping as a video and then do a fast forward version of it, you know how you can like do time lapse on that? Maybe I'll do that, like chicken dance or something. It'll be a sneak peek that we can throw up on YouTube and tell people to come join the patrons. There you go, Elizabeth. Great minds, right? Okay. I'm getting one of those sores on my lip on the inside from my braces. So let's go ahead and bring our hand out. Pull back on your fingers. Extend all those tendons. Yeah, it feels good. And just relax. I'm going to do it on the other side. Remember to hit the like button, my loves. Truly appreciate it. And just rotate your wristy wrists. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and flop our hand down and go over the top like so. Really focused on those wrists. Also, if you haven't checked out our membership yet, you can do that as well here on Boss Kitty Live through YouTube. It's going to get you your little kitty cat emojis and the ability to do super chats and stuff like that. Do you know if you're direct warping or a warping board? I have no freaking clue. I think it's direct warping. What's the difference? It's a little Cricut board, or it's a Cricut loom. And it's just got the two rollies on each side. There's no board in the middle, so I don't think there's a board. I have no flipping clue. There's a book. I should read the book. There we go. Take your hands and just spread them right out. We're going to rotate our fingers. You helped NJ clean her room and set it up as a mini movie theater for her and her 3 BFFs. So there's currently a room full of excited weirdos watching two. No, they're not. You should text Josh and tell him. That makes me so happy, Elena. Also, queerdos might be my new favorite term. You got a mystery skein this week that turned out to be lace weight silk sparkle Christmas yarn, and it's gorgeous. Ooh la la, that sounds fancy. Love it. Now we'll go the other way. Perfect. And then we're gonna wiggle it out. Jazz hands, guys. Okay. Now we can get back to our spinning. Because that's what we do. We made our friend Josh watch Tu Wong Fu for the first time. This was years and years and years ago when Elena and I were roommates. So early 20s, I think. Years, right? And he fell in love with it. You finished Haunting Adeline. Was it good? Yes, read the book, and I'll DM you another book that I found. Yes, please. You're doing very important things right now, my dear. Yes, you are. I concur with that statement. Hi, Eska. How are you? What is Haunting Adeline about? I've never even heard of it. Can I be honest? I can't tell you the last time I read a book. Which breaks my heart. I used to read all the time. I used to be the kid that would not put a book down. They would read while they were walking. I walked into so many parked cars because I was reading books. And then I became a grown-up, and I let all the other shit get in the way. I read D&D books. I guess, you know, that kind of counts, but I don't really feel like that counts. Hi, Ashley! It was amazing and mind-blowing. See, I might have to check this book out. Direct warping will be the easiest. You need a warp peg to anchor the loom and a peg to match the other end of the table, for example. Oh my gosh, you're scaring me. Not really. Canning up some bread and butter pickles tonight. Ooh, I have to can some pickles tonight too. So what type of canning do you do? I've been doing a low temp pasteurization canning because it keeps the pickles crunchy, and I don't want to use pickle crisp or pickle crunch or whatever it's called. And it seems to be working. I mean, they get sealed. They're pretty delicious. And they're fairly crispy. Hunted by Darcy Coates. You know what? We should have a book list in Discord. I should make that a channel. There's a lot of channels I keep coming up with that I just don't put out there, and I need to. I really need to. Okay, let's just pop that right over like so. Once you broke your ankle bowling. Oh my gosh. You could go all the way to school and back without... Yarn Pirate, you and I sound like the same person sometimes. I broke my ankle ice skating. Or my hand ice skating. Real then had a kid and can't figure the time. It's the attention span is a big part of it. Oh, I got an interview date to be now. Elizabeth, that's so exciting. You're using whole pickles for dill pickles rather than spears. Keep some crunchier in my experience. Oh, that's good to know too. Find one small enough to fit in jars whole. Yeah. I'd give you grape leaves for crispy pickling. Ooh, that sounds amazing too. I showed this off earlier. I'll show it off to you guys again because I know we've got some new people in here. So I was going over all of the cool stuff I've been doing with stuff out of the garden. Aside from just the pickling and the fermentate. So I've got pickles going right now. I've got the cherry jam. And then I've got some pepperoncinis and some jalapenos that are fermenting at the moment. But then I picked some cat's eye out of the garden. And I made cat's eye root coffee. Which is what this is. And it's delicious. It's got kind of a different aftertaste than coffee does. There's no acid in it. There's no caffeine in it. But other than that, it tastes like a really kind of chocolatey coffee-esque drink. And I gotta get all the cat's eye out anyway, so I might as well use the root. I did try to cook the stems. They were not for me. And then I made some fig leaf syrup out of the leaves on the fig tree, which this was really easy to do. This was very time consuming, but I will do it again. This took me my lunch break today, and it's freaking delicious. It's like magic in a jar, and I know it looks like pee. I swear to God it's not. There you go. There's my slightly not quite normal gardening items that I've been very proud of the past few days. They're both very fancy. Started my approach, but it wasn't my turn. Stepped backward off that little step with a 14-pound... Oh, no, Yarn Pirate. You have so much mint to dry for tea. Yeah, my peppermint's going nuts. I'm pretty excited about that, too. Elena, I can make you some fig leaf syrup, no problem. It was super easy to make. I'm going to make a lot more. I probably would have made a lot more during my lunch today, but I ran out of sugar. Between my crazy obsession with the garden lately and TK's love for making cheese and cured meats, we're never going to have to buy food again in our lives. Just the supplies for food. And then we'll have gout because of all of the cured meat we will eat. Yeah, that rhymed. I was not a graceful teenager either. I broke my foot stomping up one stair, Yarn Pirate. I was throwing a fit-ish. I was told to go to my room. I stomped up the stairs. I rolled my ankle on one foot and snapped it. That's what I've got, Vicky, in my garden are all pickling cucumbers. Some of them are Boston pickling cucumbers, and then some are just basic pickling cucumbers. I have to tell you, I like the Boston ones better. They're the ones that are kind of prickly looking. Versus the just basic pickling cucumbers, which are smooth. I don't like them as much. So next year, I will know which ones I want to get. The tannins in the grape leaves cancel out the blossom and issue that makes pickles soggy. Really? So you just put them in the, do you just put them in with the pickles? We're going to grow grapes next year. That's part of the plan. So that is good to know. This gives me another reason to get grapes. But I think howling is the only thing he has grapes. Roxanne. Slowly learn to pay more attention to my surroundings. Same. But I have... You can trip on dust. You can always find the high spot on the ground. We're all just little chaos monkeys, I'm telling you. Guys, guess what time it is? roller skating and you walked like a duck for weeks. Tailbone breaks are no joke. I know people are like, oh, it's just your tailbone because you can't put a cast on your ass. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Sorry. Get very angry about that. Just put them in the jar. And it doesn't change the taste or anything. How many grape leaves should you put in the jar? Because if I can't get any from you, I bet I can get some from Mandy, Wisdom Queen. Because she has a ton of grapes in her yard too. And if I trade her for the pickles that she wants some of the pickles I already have. She wants some of my Russian sage, which is fine. But maybe I can get some grape leaves from her. All my witchy connections. Elena Miranda, congratulations! You are our final contestant on the Wheel of Goodies and Goof 'em Ups. Let's get that wheel up for you, my dear. There it is. And you can pick them up next time you're in town. I will be in town on Sunday, actually. So I could swing by and grab them then. I've got game on Sunday. I don't know what... Oh, crap. It would have to be early because we're going to go see the Barbie movie at noon. So I can come over before then if that works. Okay. But here's the wheel. Sorry. I got sidetracked. Here's our beautiful wheel in all its glory. Elena, I'm going to go ahead and spin it for you and see what happens. So exciting! You get a $10 Ravelry pattern. What?
Congratulations, you're a winner!
That's amazing. Okay, so this is how this works. If you have a Ravelry account, go to Ravelry, sign in, find a pattern that you like that's up to $10 in cost. I don't care what it is. Crochet, knit, whatever. And then message me on Discord with your username on Ravelry and a link to the pattern, and we will gift it to you. And thank you so much for being part of the Boss Kitty family. We appreciate it and adore you.
Goodbye.
I'll see you on Monday. We also love our members and, of course, our patrons. So as I said earlier, we do have a patron-exclusive event this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Fleece the Finished Project. We're going to be working with... Do I have it out right now? I don't think I do. I think I moved it. Well, it's somewhere around here. Anyway, we have some Shetland fleece that we've been playing around with. We've done everything with it, and now we're going to weave with it. You guys get to be the first ones to see me weave, which is great. We give patrons other really cool things as well. You guys get early release to things like this super secret product that's going to be released on the 31st of July. You guys get me singing like a ridiculous loon. You guys get haikus when they finally come out, exclusive colorways both in box sets and for patrons exclusively, flash sales, really anything that we can do to gift to you guys and to say thank you is what we do. At the higher tiers, the Hazel's Heroes and the Cult of Khan, you also get a sticker and a tote bag after 3 months of subscription at that level. So that's our way of saying thank you to our patrons and we love you. And if you want to sign up as a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/bosskitty today and do just that. And if you want to support the show, but you're like, $5.99 is a little steep for you, that's totally understandable. You are supporting the show just by being here. You can also become a member here on YouTube. There's a little join button, and that is, I believe, $1.99 a month, and that gets you a little badge, and it gets you your emotes. So that's another way that you can do that if you'd like, and we, of course, appreciate that as well. I'm rambling while I get show and tell on. I'm trying my hardest just to fill time with words at this point.
Time to clean up.
It is. It's time for a show and tell.
Yay!
You don't have any pink yarn. Bubbles, you know, we can fix that somehow or another. Samantha, who went to bed, but that's okay. Here's an elk that my cousin saw in Estes Park. That is beautiful. Wow, they got really close. And then here's a purple blanket I made for a friend. I know she's not in here, but it's beautiful. I love the color choices. Bought some t-shirts at Michael's printing now. Crocheting the bar. Yes. Here are me and Tim Tebow at the Embassy Suite in Loveland. That's pretty cool. I'm not even a sports fan, and I know about that. I know who that is. Sports? What's that? Let's see here. Progress on my Angora cowl. I want it bulkier, so halfway done. Lightning pick I took after Monday's show. This is gorgeous though. Even wanting it bulkier, it's so beautiful and you're so speedy. Can you fix that in time for a Barbie movie on Monday? Oh, that's amazing. And this is a beautiful shot. Oh, I wish we got lightning like that here in Oregon. We do not though. Miss Emma, my Battenberg squares from work today. Yes. Look at that. I have some of those colors in my Battenberg squares too. I love them. They're so much fun to make. Crochet hooked, frogged an old sweater whip to start a new sweater. That is life right there in yarn balls. Bought this salt just for the bag and my chaos project inside of it. What a great bag. Why is it a chaos project? It looks really cool. Hey, mixed BFL spun for Tour de Fleece. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Look at these colors, you guys. And your spinning is just so pristine and even. Not like this hot mess I'm looking at right now. This is absolutely beautiful. I love the sheen to it. Man, I wish Discord would let me see your guys' full names again. F started another winter light shawl inspired to make it rainbow swirl. And my hand-painted crochet hook for an online contest in Hitchhiker's theme. This is really cool looking. I love it. String Quartet. Blue Barn Fiber Arts. Blue Barn Fiber Arts. It said Barts. These colors are so pretty. Yes, do it. I'm really excited about this. It says, don't panic, you guys. This is the best crochet hook ever. Oh my God. It's got a little towel on it. I love it so much. W. There are movie quote stickers these are movie quote stickers I'm designing. The last one is not complete. Can you name the movies? They're not famous quotes. Lone Star Jam Company. We've been jammed. I will tell you that I probably can't name any of these movies because there are a lot of movies I haven't seen. I forget a lot of stuff in movies. I know this one though. I just watched it the other day. There's no crying in baseball. So yeah, that would be illegal there on. I literally just watched this a week ago. Emotional range. Well, I think it's Harry Potter themed. Or Run by Fruiting. Oh my gosh, I have seen this movie. I just can't think of what it is right now. These are great. Second one is Sandlot. Yep. You thought it was something else before you read it was a hook. Raw meals, my drop spindle and fiber from alt knots. Yeah. Super nervous to actually drop it when I do start. Next is more progress on my lidless eye shirt. This is really cool. This color is beautiful. I love the drop spindle. Very awesome. Oh, this looks great. Seriously, Raw, I just love how it's turning out. I hope you're enjoying it. The pooling on this is just so cool. It is. It's Mrs. Doubtfire. Thank you. Bubbles, 8 ounces of Copworth and silk noil and fireflies. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see how this spins up. 8 ounces of BFL and dark and stormy. It's also a drink. Also lovely. And the yolk of my summer sorrel tea by Wool and Pine. I love this top so much. Someday I'm going to make it. It's going to happen at some point in my life. Roxanne. I bet people do that to you all the time. I'm sorry. I finished my first ever project using Boss Kitty yarn. I saw this on Instagram. The main color on the cowl is cold as ice. I made a Magic the Gathering Simic shirt for my hubby. Did I say that right? Is it Simic or Simic? Because I'm going to give you a little bit of knowledge. That's my name with a C at the end of it. Not all of you know what my name is, so I was a little thrown off. I was like, a Simi shirt? What? So that threw me off for a second. And my 1-year-old has been working on standing. He loves trying to follow our animals. The cowl looks fantastic. I hope you enjoyed using the cold as ice. The other colors are really, really cool with it too. Even this green that's kind of muted in there, I like the texture it creates. But now you need a summer one for sure. Here's the Simic shirt for your husband. Very cool looking. I like the lines. They're very smooth and clean, and you've done a great job. I hope they love it. The movies are Spaceballs, A League of Their Own, Harry Potter, and Mrs. Doubtfire. I've never seen Spaceballs. Michi started a new summer top. Oh, you've got some beautiful fibers here. Oh, that looks great. W, great book that should be read. However, read the trigger warnings first. I'm currently reading the second one called Haunting Adeline. So, Haunting Adeline, best-selling author. And then here's a bit on the back that you guys can read about it. And it says to read the trigger warnings first, and I can appreciate that. Thank you. JK, 23 ounces so far. Spun myself into a corner on the mattress. It refused to rewind bobbins for me. So here's 2 of the 3 5-ounce true 3-ply bobbins. And last, the second panel for my 5-panel blanket being direct warp since we were talking about it. Okay, that's good to know. Wow, look at that. You ran your poor wheel into the ground. It's tired. These look amazing. You've been a busy gal. Okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. I have no idea if this is how I'm going to be able to do it, but this is very neat looking. Yeah, I hope I have all the pieces I need. We're going to find out. This monster, my willpower ran out and I cast on new socks before I finished the previous pair. Hobbiton socks and larkspur. Number 2 is one of the spinning projects I'm trying to unhibernate during Tour de Fleece. Yay, new socks and larkspur. Your hubby gasped too, right? You said you'd never seen Spaceballs. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of movies I haven't... You guys, I saw Gremlins for the first time 3 months ago. No, not even 3 months ago. 2 months ago. I didn't see Indiana Jones until COVID because TK was like, okay, this is happening now. I can't handle this anymore. Same with Alien and Aliens. Oh my gosh, Miss Monster, that's gorgeous. And this picture is beautiful. Like the sun just coming in on that silk. So good. Yarn Pirate finally managed to get a spot on a new quilt. Yay! Making good progress. So Yarn Pirate does cross-stitch quilt pieces for different quilts that are donated to people. This is awesome. Be so awesome. I can't read the rest of it, but it's really cool. I love it. I can't wait to see it when it's finished. I was in my 30s when I saw the Goonies for the first time. There you go. See, I'm not the only one. Thank you, Eska. I think the looks was pretty as well. Where you can find trigger warnings for published books. Where can you find trigger warnings for published books? That's a great question. You know what? Before we end the show, let's look into that. I think some books have their own websites now, so I suspect that that is part of it. But you could probably also just look a book up. So, where to find trigger warnings for books? So you can read reviews. Goodreads reviewers are pretty consistently offering warnings for triggers and spoilers. So people recommend going to Goodreads or just reading reviews on books before you read them, because usually somebody will be like, just a heads up, trigger warning on this book. There is a trigger warning database looking for books with a specific trigger. And it's called Trigger Warning Database. So that's an option. There's booktriggerwarnings.com. So there are definitely places that have an archive of books under different types of triggers, it sounds like, which that's awesome, actually. I think that's a great thing. You know, it sucks to get into a book and really enjoy it and then be like, nope, I can't do this. This is too much for me. You guys, fucking awesome show. We had some new faces in here. Thank you so much. It's so good to see new people and old people. Not that any of you are old, you get what I'm saying. If you haven't had enough of our shenanigans, TK will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. on with Craft Hole. He's going to be taking this lovely little fairy stoop, patio cobblestone thing, and he's going to sand off the bottom, get it all ready, and then you guys are going to cast this or you're going to create a mold for it so we can cast it in resin and I can get it outside on our tree. I'm going to paint both of them. I will be back on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time with our patrons for our Fleece to Finish project. Hopefully we'll be weaving. Now I gotta check to make sure I got all the pieces I need. I think I do. Once again, if you want to join, you can go over to patreon.com/bosskitty and sign up today. If you aren't going to be here for either of those shows, that's okay too. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great rest of your week. It is pretty warm everywhere as far as I'm aware currently. So get out and enjoy the sun as long as it's not too hot. Make yourself some fig leaf syrup or try making dandelion coffee. Do something wacky and crazy and outside of your, spectrum of norm. It's fun and it's exciting and sometimes it tastes really gross, but it's totally worth it. So if I don't see you, tomorrow. Well, if TK doesn't see you tomorrow and I don't see you on Saturday, hopefully we'll see you on Monday at 6:30 p.m. right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. I guess it's cat time and cat channel. So until then, my loves, a wonderful weekend. And as always, happy crafting. Good night.